Tribs, Eva, Schwabi from Panage.
No!
Yibs. Oh. Oh, Suflo.
Babane. Vobi Ibsa Bibdo. Flushi Fwasa. Dawi Prumara. Seneca Belindi. Chelner. Gugane.
Oh, Illinois. Torquay. Shuksa Fazoo.
Benworth Nergs. Hispa. Wangle Fruit Deuce. Bamboo. Club. Zarf Samzo. Wink, wink, Abba. Yibs.
Are there more good folks?
More good. Of course.
Then why is there always suffering? Why do the bad folks always win?
Because goodness without teeth punishes you.
Perfect shall leave.
It's
Is
only
Beniba
for
well.
you.
Kator. It
Cleanse
wins.
the world
It
with
shall.
blood and grow lotus.
Say.
You're dead.
Rohana de Lopa, Delipa Bar.
I, the keeper of the West, welcome the Destined One. Destined One, you know what he's destined for? Some proud sensation in our country. No. Oh, yes. It will fit me exactly. Anything blood yet. For you immortals and brave like me, what justifies your superiority?
Charky Bibna. Sor. Crazo. Mishi Lafana. Flamibi. Febine Lovo Bonnefi. Wavu. Ruskan Lampima. Muchi Pichi. Torque Bashoshi.
Kaljo Dorishi. Finafesh.
Of the ghost of custody. Really spectacular bed noise, man. I wish to show them how little she Only the three of
This is my Joshi. Left behind on easily made by.
Oh, yes.
Flazzle Pelka. Abadumi.
Is anyone better?
Boy, Cleaver. Yeah, sure, sure. Oh, normal crop. Oh, fish. How finesse. Swept some rock. Still no roy. Shives.
I have my reservations about this. Any questions? You probably no, Captain.
Who's Wabi? Nom nom. Loonies. Kelsey. Ebony. Lurva. Pima. Asha. Uxel. Dizzy Baba. Fishy Pando. Lamina Galpa Wati. Guna. Nulit. Oh, Campini. Shashay. Chill Bronson. Reba. Knife. Kumeba. Vula Shaka Teeves. Liza. Sigluna. Bouchard. Bethany Mocha. Kunia Bouchard. Solution. Bainer Jirba. Bobby Ruba. Flurba.
Fleeting moment.
Ugnate. Unga.
Thus caught in its deadly rhythm.
Moishi and feet of wave.
Of an eye. For anyone embracing its bitter end.
That's nice. Gipara. Defu.
Shunga.
The only thing we know for sure
Haba. Shea Forbin.
is that time
Ricky. Rai Abba
is
Lumar.
we are without hesitation, without remorse.
Women. Brenna.
The drum drives the rhythm. Let's do it. We got it. Let us not forget the pain of Master Short and the countless others who have suffered. Right.
Scoo. Trangella. Renoy Bars. Swarspagatuni. Suave. Brithoma. 1G? Oh, nervous. Sure, Steve. Nubin Shori. Clevite Bane. Fortoy Befalla Yadeen. Fish. Chabino. Skashlarg.
Hakyoin Limla? Kibaya!
Hey, Andy.
You're late, kid. I was waiting.
What? Were you?
No,
Okay.
no one's sorry.
What?
Be careful. Donka's a broker. Friend. She can't be trusted.
You can out there. See you back at the ship.
Round two and I still like my odds. Okay.
Stop fire! Stop fire!
목적지 설정, 콘스탄티노플. 전송 준비가 완료되었습니다. 전송 수신 기능이 발생 중입니다. 현재 위치 신호 디아로그
Death, Lady of Men, Lady of the true faith and of the true path of those who breathe, hear my clamor. Give us thy blessing, give us thy righteousness, give us thy peace at the end of our journey. Only thy word is true. Only thy church is the path. Thou art the end, in being the end, thou art the beginning. O Lady, I beg of thee, give us thy protection today, that we might make thee an offer of 1,000 infidels cut down by our swords. Postpone today our reward to rest, but our life will come. Let it rest, let it war, let it peace.
Isn't I?
You're on, Kayla. This is our flight. We must grow stronger. Become ruthless.
Steve, Travoy.
Harness our knowledge. Strike from the shadows. Seek allies.
Woo! Limba! Woo!
And choose our battles wisely.
Even if it means sacrificing our humanity.
Bevan.
Lamina Galpa Watino.
No Limbo.
Newlitz.
Ah, Shashay. Keto put.
Akashic Sword. Kathari. Wabarani Bayou. Handles. Luffy Garang. Zune. Basma. Parsip. Zinsei. Chorib. Befete Grino. Bars! Quofi Huda! Tibanahu Smace! Gobi! Surf! Unga Vashnavi's Kansas! Domi Bayan! Ebony Flurba! Philon Flarbin Toby Galbador.
Fizi Yamasprata. Sobra, Bunkaru. He said a fish.
Ah, Chibi, Chabina.
Contract site coming out. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3. Pre-fires, here we go.
Shoot it.
The monsters of Dragon's Dogma 2 behave organically in the world around them, and will even react to players by using their wits against you. Next, I would like to show you the mage in action. Mages excel at long-range magical attacks, as well as healing and support spells that bolster your party with various enchantments to give allies an advantage in battle. The more advanced and powerful the magic is, the longer the incantation will take. In addition to the pawns and adventurers, you will occasionally act with other inhabitants of the world. What's this? Retract!
Oh, yeah. Oh. Bah.
Lastly, let's take a look at the thief. As a thief, use daggers to strike at your enemies, relying on agility and quick attacks. Use swift step to quickly move away from enemies after an attack. The key strategy for the thief against
It won't make any difference at the end of the day. You know better than anyone else.
Oh, yes.
That means listen.
Good job. Trip now. Jump shot. Oh, sweetie. Oh, yes. Yes. Bọc đi đâu hả? Oh, woo! Finusa! The door.
We need to secure a route to advance to the large building. Watch out for any gambling.
About nation webka. Dempsey.
Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration.
Zarzuya do Tiru. Infalingness Wabarani Bayu Squirmish. Shimraja being sluggish. Oh, yes. Shimba. Fricka. Katie. Flip triple. Spinaroo. Block rock loose. Rock Stevie. Tenor Regis. Pavement. Ribbonate Bars Campina. War. Wixona Sarspa. Pensive. Paparis. Can I go? I'll move. You please. Vinegar Finade. Miss Joshua! Oh, yes! Varman Champion! Varlan Jeff now new! Davina! Razor Johnny! Yigla Shippy! Naya Flute! Scoo! Yes!
Narble for boy. Sabri's Focho. Kills the little name. Mwah.
Waga! Panu! Ome! Larkin! And a lot of Russia wins.
Moishi,
Hongi de Green Nudge.
Stempa Bifta. Sensei. Jeffra. Snaps Looney. Sabino, Yap Yam. Moose. Sonofario, Yamisha. Piso Fraba. Abude Quad.
Gorsoy, Nimble Reba, Bombzoy Dimpish.
Give us thy blessing, give us thy righteousness, give us thy peace at the end of our journey. O God, what is true. Holy no one. We be so thou O Lady, I beg of thee, give us thy protection today, that we might make thee an offer of 1,000 infidels cut down by our sword. Postpone today our eventual end, that our life becomes an instrument of death. Let the breath, let the peace.
Serpino Filet, Aha! Sator, O'Neill.
Credit from electives the way that works for you. See the difference at flbs.net/no classroom required.
By 2035, we'll form the new breed of elite special forces, who are better prepared to manage these latest threats to our global society. No fear, no retreat.
Motivo, Ibanez, ain't true, huh?
We can't arrow.
No, we're not. Let's do this.
Hold the line. Here comes the last
Smile, Zorpelhish. New base narb. Follow for door. Reba. From. Almost. Purple. Delay Kanapa. Wixona Sarspa. Yes. Oh, Flux. Vula Shaka T. Lazlo Pelka. Siglona. Bayumi. Guru Buklongus. Bacon to fry. Uma. Narva. Vasu Wifton of Bay. Ribbon Camp Lamina. Klar.
another creature, huh? How do you outsiders not understand that our enemy got 3 months in the wall out there for fun? We have to fight your way out.
I wish I could tell you what I saw. I wish I could put it into words. But most of all, I wish I could forget.
Could be a remnant, a cat that hasn't been one in decades. When we're all dead and gone, new technology, but a footnote in the history books, the anomalies will remain. They're the legacy of our work here, and the Olympic Peninsula belongs to them now. Check them out. They're stuck here for good.
Thanks for your attitude, for changing all that. I'm here to ask you to be those things once more. For me. Can I count on you? Baby, can I count on you?
I see you've already stolen traversal equipment. You'll need it to stay off the streets. Setting a new recon point. Go.
Don't like to boast, but how great was I?
He was barely in. Money talks, big walk, you know?
I hear that.
G'day, Pango. Remember me?
No. Ain't this a right rogues gallery? Who's the big leader? Think his cousin used to work for me.
Which one? Let's come out of the service. We're getting the hell out of the city before Argus finds us. You in?
But we are working for Argus. You bloody one. Real slick, Shark. Good talk. Now it's catching up. Give my regards to the locals.
Hey man, what's the...
Get!
Glad. What the hell you got there?
Doing this, baby.
Jump shot.
Well, on the job, got hit in the head. When I woke up, I was in almost nothing but my burgers. Here's the ball. I'll let you go. Take a look around. Seen friends lose life to live. But there's always someone bent on breaking the world. It's time for a new hero. No magic hand. No ancient prophecy. They'll never see coming. We've got your back. I've got your back. Demons, dragons, darkspawn.
Like misinformation, where danger lurks around every turn. A motley crew of misfits embarked on a fateful road trip to discover their true path. Please tell me you're done. Oh, we're just getting started, dude.
What is this music?
I believe the kids call it K-pop music. Just K-pop.
Turn it down.
Leave my music alone and shut the hell up. Words have power. We can give you strength. Ready for this? Stand still. Words can bring people together and tear them apart. But if words will power, he has no respect for you. He's right. The question is...
Explore a world filled with wonder, mystery, and some of these things. And then slap them. Slap those too. Just slap it all. Except these. The great outdoors isn't so great when you've got no indoors. Best to make a home trip, but not just yourself. Because loneliness sucks. So build a friendship, because that kind of ship won't crash. After all, you're gonna make it on this planet. You'll need all the help you can get. From time to time, I ask myself, is it possible to miss something you never know? Let me rephrase. Is it possible to be homesick for a place you've never been? I was born on Earth, but I think I have been homesick for my whole life. By the time you read this, I'll be gone, and the world will be very different from it does now. But the island chooses me. They built this thing fast. Come to the island if you've ever been.
This is the world has highest photon. To put it another way, this is effects.
Oh, yes.
The people of my land
Befete Falca, Kumiao Bouchar's Motion, Ebony Flurba, Bobao Sophie, Piff of the Zoo.
It tells you the world's united as one tribe.
Crazo! Tatiana! Dorna! Vixen! Smetzel! Risham! Winnebach! Igla! Dulane! Fleur! Huh? Top Wheezy, huh? Zombisi! Moy Bim! Yes, Finna!
Levite Bank, Vertoiba Fala Yadir.
Rebar! Samson! Limba!
Drink a shallow. Oh, body. Yesterday.
Shishka Yanabi Stulay. Yanabi.
Free but Naya Phoebe. Tabita.
Personally, I want to see more Argus.
I'm Mariel Cartwright. I am the creative lead of the Port Plus Clock Tower. I've always been a big horror fan. I love evil, Morocco. I just love horror games in general and horror movies. But Clock Tower in particular is a game that I discovered when I was probably about 16, and it holds a really special place in my heart because at the time it was the scariest thing I had ever played. As this character Jennifer, I was trying to get away from the Scissor Man. The tower games where you're fighting monsters and you're shooting them with guns, and that can still be scary, but Clock Tower is distinct in that you really don't have anything.
It was one of the first experiences for me that really was like that in terms of horror, and I think that that's fantastic.
It is true survival horror. You know, you can only survive, and I think it is a game that has a lot of quieter tension. Jennifer is such an interesting character because at the start of the game, we don't know a lot about her, and I think the game does such a really job.
Looks like breakdown over. Hell yeah, brother. Let's get this
Hey boys, let's make this noise.
Ah, Nobi.
Yeah? There's no choice. How about my people? How my friends?
You missed.
The earth moving.
Shook some. Sure.
While exploring the once thriving island, you'll meet a mysterious girl. Then travel between past and present to make the island your own. If no angry, good, however, How will you rebuild?
Yep, so worry.
This life is yours to live. After 1,000 years, the restoration trees are an epic tale of pirates and the hunt for treasure begins. In search of a mythical artifact that could bring the Opportunity, the Northern Star. Only one power can prevent a catastrophe that would unfold very fast. Cat Quest, Pirates of the Caribbean. Coming 2025. I mean,
hold the dark. You live.
Kelsey, Napa, Kisanis, Navy, oh, Capri.
Some skill sets are a curse. Using them increasingly. Sadly, today is not that day. Every single skill would have its own well-defined skill tree. Reaching endgame would be just the beginning, and it would be updated for years so we could play forever.
Last department, crafting and finding items super rewarding.
Again, it's genius. I think this is the most innovation we've seen in a story system in an ARPG in at least a decade.
Oh, yes.
Chima Rabu, Steve Pombo, Tu, Blaine Schwarben, Duga Sivar, Sor.
Skibby Wiener?
Uh-huh.
Spor.
Doda Vector. Grana Ura, Naba Flarza. Oh, Iglavov. Yabasa.
Oh, Rebo! Blanca Cor cool. Just name. Vipepto Uncum. Shisna Topiga. Panavi.
Pleasey. Flubigorg Frieza. Benoi. Nostaish. Shroof Clave. Larkham. Yes. Oh, yes.
Ooh. Ah. Oh, baby.
Not good enough. We can but learn. And the greatest teacher is there. Let go. Death to criminals. Death to criminals.
This is an opportunity for you to make a better future. Least I can do is light your way down.
Huh?
Not ready to get in? No.
after going through the entire process, I think that the most important thing is to look for someone who's going to treat you like an individual. That is key, I think, and making sure that, you choose the right attorney is making sure that you do have someone that's willing to extend themselves,
That's what this business is all about. It's about people. It's about caring about people that we serve and doing the best job we possibly can for them.
I have lots of monthly subscriptions, streaming, music, news sites. Then I went to Experian. Now I can see them in one place. And the ones I forgot about, Experian can cancel them for me.
See all you can do at Experian.com/save now. 2023 may be over, but there were so many great games that we're still talking about. Like the end of every year, we like to go back and narrow down some of the biggest and best for each of the consoles. And today we're talking PlayStation 5. We'll be totally honest though, it's really hard to narrow down a best of list to 10. There were a lot this year, so we try our best, but we're looking forward to hearing your picks in the comments. Anyway, let's get started off with number 10. Star Wars Jedi Survivor really took everything from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and ran with it. This is a bigger and badder sequel in all the best ways. You're getting massive hub world areas to explore, almost like open world settings. You're getting more planets. You're getting expanded combat options with a ton of different stances for fighting. You're getting more cool references. You're getting prequel stuff. Just more to do in a more compelling story that kind of takes things to a darker level. I'm really curious to see where the series goes after this. They really did a good job making Cal Kestis more interesting this time around. The game did have performance issues when it released. On PS5, it had some frame rate problems, and things still aren't quite perfect, but the game itself, the content of the story, the gameplay, everything here is really great. I don't know if it's better than the original, because that just had like some wow factor to it. You didn't see it coming, but Star Wars Jedi Survivor is still a must-play for Star Wars fans of all ages. I know that's like a broad statement because Star Wars fans like to argue, but this is a fun one, either way. Next over at number 9, we have the Resident Evil 4 remake. It was a year of remakes, but one of the ones that made the biggest splash, the biggest sales, was definitely Resident Evil 4. This was an ambitious remake because the original Resident Evil 4 was such a strange game, both tonally, setting-wise, everything about it was just oddball and unique. Thankfully, Capcom and the developers there did not shortchange it in 2023. They kept the weirdness, they kept a lot of the strange aspects, and they managed to make it a little scarier and a little more interesting. Ashley Graham, Leon Kennedy, Louise, they all have a little bit more depth to them. The game doesn't expand upon them too much where it breaks things or pisses off old school hardcore fans like me, but it does give them just a little extra glimmer of humanity, little extra bits of interesting things to them, and really just rounds it out to be a great Resident Evil adventure. It's unlike any of the other Resident Evil games, and that's why a lot of people really love it, because it is so different. But this one is so much fun to play. It's also fun to replay over and over again because it gives you a bunch of different incentives and unlockables and secrets to do so, and they added the Ada Wong DLC separately. So really, it's a pretty damn good package. It has a lot of games on this list. You've probably heard a lot about it throughout the year, but still, it's worth talking about. It's worth checking out. Next over number 8, we have Diablo 4. Certainly a flawed game. One that a lot of people have very valid complaints for, but ultimately, still, we found here at GameRanks to be a pretty fun Diablo game. It takes a lot of the concepts you want, building up characters, grinding, replaying over and over again, and sets it in a pretty compelling and interesting and surprisingly big open world. There's more content coming soon. Blizzard has been making tweaks here and there, and not everybody's happy with a lot of those changes, and not a lot of people are happy with the monetization of this. We pointed it out in our videos. Falcon has also talked about it at length, but ultimately, if you just boil it down to playing Diablo, maybe even playing Diablo with a friend, rolling a character and killing stuff in dungeons, Diablo 4 was a pretty good time. Is it the Diablo game to end all Diablo games? I don't know about that for sure. Maybe in a couple years we'll see how it shakes out. But again, specifically at launch, when we blasted through it, it was a good time. Next over at number 7, we have Lies of P. Another one we've talked up a lot because the game ranks.
The time is now. UFC Fight Pass is now playing Invictus Argent World. Join your friends and other MMA fans to watch live events and pass by highlights for free. The UFC journey is like your own personal apex. Sharpen your striking, hone your takedown defense, play trivia, and become the reigning, defending UFC champion. The UFC journey launches November 10th with live events starting November 17th only in Meta Horizon World. Oh no!
How's it going, everyone? If you've been following this channel, you know I've been a little bit of a broken record. Look, I'm excited for 2024. I feel like there aren't a lot of people that are as excited as I am about 2024 and gaming. Maybe it's just because I'm so hyper-focused on this quarter one that I just think is insane, and obviously Japanese RPGs are one of my favorite genre. It is probably my favorite genre in all of games. But when I see the lineup for Q1, it does my heart joy. We'll see how the rest of the year pans out. There are some things I'm, a little bit skeptical about for the latter portion of the year, but we'll get to that when we get to it. In this video, I want to highlight all of the big upcoming PS4 and PS5 RPGs that are coming out in Q1. Now, Q1 runs until March 31st, and this includes both the Japanese RPGs and Western RPGs. However, you guys are going to notice predominantly a JRPG list. It's not that I'm not into Western RPGs. I love Western RPGs. However, there's only a few of them coming out. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is a much appreciated. Without further ado, let's get right into it, and let's start off with Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. So excited for this and so happy for RGG as a studio to get a lot more recognition in the gaming world. They've been around for a long time. Yakuza as a franchise, if you remember the PS2 days and the PS3 days, Yakuza would come out every now and again, and then the franchise would just be MIA for a while. We'd have these main releases over game time. That's the thing of the past, guys. These days we get RGG titles days over 10 months. They're adding English voice acting, which I know some people think is a blasphemy for a game like this. However, I do offer you the fact they want this game to be accessible to a larger audience, and that's how you do it. With Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, obviously, if you're going to be getting this game, please go play the other games. Maybe it's a stretch to say go play all of these games, but at the very least, Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Kiwami 2, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. I think all 4 of those games must be played before you play Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I think most people would agree you should probably play Yakuza 3, 4, 5, and 6, and also Like a Dragon, the man who erased his name. It's a daunting process to get into these games, but Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth looks like a massive, massive experience. Obviously, featuring both Kazuma Kiryu, the longtime protagonist of these Yakuza games, and Ichiban Kasuga. They're brought together by the hand of fate to perhaps something more sinister, live it up in Japan and explore all that Hawaii has to offer in an RPG adventure so big it spans the Pacific. Expect a ton of content and epic emotional drama to larger-than-life heroes. Experience one-of-a-kind combat with dynamic, fast-paced RPG battles where the battlefield becomes your weapon and anything goes. Infinite adventure, live it up in Japan and explore all that Hawaii has. An adventure so big, unforgettable moments await at every step of the journey with a mix of quests and activities to enjoy at your leisure. Look, the $70 price tag is something that I've been critical of in the sense that not all games can get away with it. Given the amount of content Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is going to have, I think it's going to be worthwhile for that $70 Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, especially out on January 26th. Next up, we have a new IP from Zonan Entertainment, the guys that brought you the Life is Strange titles. They also did Vampire. Game looks really good, going a little bit under the radar. We have Vanisher's Ghost of New Eden. Hunt Ghost has 2 memorable characters in a story-driven action RPG where your decisions have dramatic consequences. Solve haunting cases and battle supernatural forces, combining anti-spiritual powers and Reg's arsenal. This is a game that was supposed to come out in 2023, and they ultimately decided to delay the game based on the fact that they thought there was too many games coming out and this one was going to get lost in the shuffle. Dare I say, February is even worse in terms of when this game is coming out, in terms of getting lost in the shuffle, but I'm hoping the game still gets a little bit of an audience. It will be priced at $59.99. Immerse yourself in a beautiful, intimate, and powerful story between two fated lovers as banishers enter the lives of New Eden's communities and solve haunting cases in a mystical, lore-rich world rife with supernatural creatures and ancient secrets. Use your wits or combine the spiritual powers and red arts to defeat and banish souls tormenting the living. The game notes play as both of the characters in battle supernatural forces with magic, weapons, and supernatural powers. And spiritual powers unlock new gear and abilities to unleash the full power of the Banishers, uncover the ancient secrets and hidden mysteries of a mystical, lore-rich world, and characteristics of renowned studio Don't God make meaningful and morally ambiguous choices that affect the story, the world, and the fate of all characters, dead or alive. Hoping this game gets a little bit of attention as we get closer to its release. Banishers Ghost of New Eden is out on February the 13th. Next up, quite possibly the biggest RPG released this quarter and quite possibly the entire year. For a lot of people, the most anticipated game of the year. We have the second part in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. They timed the PlayStation 5 with no PlayStation 4 release for FF7 Rebirth. It's the highly anticipated new story in the Final Fantasy VII Remake project to reimagine the iconic original game into a standalone title. Now, if you haven't played FF7 Remake, obviously go play that. Rebirth is going to be where the 7 Remake trilogy really started to take shape, given that now you're going to have this massive world to explore. You're going to get into really the heart of Final Fantasy VII story. Based on what we've heard thus far, this is going to capture one of the crucial elements and crucial narrative arcs of FF7's entire story. It's going to be a rolling, and obviously, there are some concerns. I mean, the promotional material at the end of FF7 Remake really lends it to being a little bit different from FF7 to say the least. The game's going to have an expansive world, and the party searches for Sephiroth to explore the beautiful, expansive regions of the world and open up new areas to discover. Dig deeper into the world of Final Fantasy VII with rewarding side content and minigames, plus various new forms of transportation to navigate the world. It involves battles in football, dungeons, with thrilling action combat alongside your comrades, including newly added characters, deepen their relationships to unleash powerful team-based combos, and beyond the walls of fate from this standalone adventure for fans to discover Spot and his comrades venture across the planet, their fates unwritten, making each step outside the dystopian city of Midgar fresh and mysterious. Now, they are saying you can jump into this game without playing the FF7 Remake. Guys, please don't play the FF7 Remake. I don't care what they're saying. I need you guys to play the 7 Remake. It's a fantastic game, and that game will get you excited for Rebirth. Expect Rebirth to be an evolution of Part 1, and really, I expect it to be a much more expansive experience. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is out February 29th exclusively for the PlayStation 5, at least initially. Ultimately, I do see it hitting PC, maybe Switch 2, maybe Xbox at some point, who knows? Next up, we have a PlayStation 5 exclusive coming from the talented devs over at Team Ninja. We have Rise of the Ronin, dropping on March 22nd. Rise of the Ronin has you embark on an epic journey across the war-torn 19th century Japan and a combat-focused open-world action RPG from Team Ninja, the veteran studio behind Neo and Ninja Gaiden. Now, they are aiming for Rise of the Ronin to be a bit more of an accessible game comparatively to Neo. The game is going to feature difficulty options. You'll have a story-based mode, an intermediate mode, and a more difficult mode for those of you that still want that challenge of, let's say, a Neo. Japan, 1863. After 3 centuries of the Shogun's oppressive rule, the black ships of the West descend upon the nation's borders, and the country falls into a state of turmoil. Amidst the chaos of war, disease, and political unrest, a nameless warrior forges their own path, holding the very fate of Japan in their hands. Rise of the Ronin's key features note a shaped and dynamic story. As a masterless samurai, a Ronin, your destiny is your own. See the story unfold in different ways depending on the choices you make and the characters you ally with along the way. Make critical mission decisions like whether to assassinate or protect key figures, and shape the course of history through a rich multi-choice system. Explore an authentic world. The Bakumatsu period heralds the end of the Shogun's rule as a new era begins. The East and West collide, cultural revolution across an open world where you'll meet the key figures, will shape the course of history, and the ordinary citizens seeking a guiding light in the darkness and engage in deep but accessible combat. The veteran developers Neo and Ninja Gaiden Rise of the Ronin to offer deeply engaging and accessible combat with layers of complexity suitable for any playstyle. Face your foes with selection of close order weaponry, or engage from afar with authentic period firearms. Remember, you have a variety of game modes, and Rise of the Ronin will be dropping on March 22nd.
Tripna, follow for door.
Everything in life must end. But what if it could be reborn? Ignite your drive and let it reawaken with our lineup of brand new models. During this strike, something new sales event. Fresh new Gladiators and Grand Cherokees. 15% off MSRP. Full ground 300. Up to 10% off MSRP. Leave the past behind you. Arise out of the ashes. Because what matters is eternal. Only in Tallahassee. TVR.com. Home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Some quietest air compressors in the industry with the largest selection of ultra-quiet oil-free models to choose from. We are the only manufacturer to offer 2, 4, 8, and 10 aluminum tank tops, which are extremely lightweight and rust-free. We offer industrial 80% and 98% dry air systems and ultra-quiet soundproof cabinet models, which are also made in North America. High-performance tools you can rely on. Visit California Air Tools today.
Interesting release date, and we'll get to that later on why March 22nd is important. I'm sure most of you already know. Next up, another JRPG coming from the incredibly talented studio in Vanillaware, the developers of Muramas and the people who play 13th Sentinel, Aegis Rim, and of course Odin's Spear Left Tracer. Unicorn Overlord is their latest title, and it has you liberate your kingdom and reclaim your destiny. A tactical fantasy RPG, fight against the fate, and embark on a royal adventure to regain your reign alongside trustworthy allies. Overlord combines the timeless tactical RPG genre with overworld exploration and innovative battle system, and it truly wouldn't be a Vanillaware game if you didn't have that slick presentation, the awesome art style, traverse a vibrant world, assemble units and direct them into exquisitely animated battles, perform heroic gameplay, and grow renown throughout the 5 nations, cultivate a grand army with over 60 unique characters from humans and elves to massive beasts and the heavenly angels. Unicorn Overlord is due out on March 8th. Next up, we have a pair of titles that I do want to run down quickly. The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 will be seeing their PlayStation 5 release. Now, I've talked about Legend of Heroes ad nauseam on this channel. It's one of my favorite JRPG franchises. Honestly speaking, at this point, it might be my favorite JRPG series just because nobody does world building like Legend of Heroes, and you know, when you've got as many games as Legend of Heroes, that's kind of necessary, given that, if you really want to know the entire story, you gotta play the Legend of Heroes Sky Trilogy, then you gotta play the Crossfell arc, then you gotta play the 4 Cold Steel games, and then we have Trails into Reverie, and guess what? That's not all. There are more games coming out, and I believe at this point we're at around the halfway point of the entire story. Yeah, pack a lunch if you want to get into Legend of Heroes. It's daunting, and you want to say that RGG games are daunting to get into? Legend of Heroes is one of the more daunting franchises to get into. It's absolutely worthwhile, and I think you can jump into Cold Steel and play those 4 games, but a lot of people will have my head for that opinion. Most people think that you need to go through the Sky Trilogy, then you need to do the Crossfell, and then Cold Steel, and play the games entirely sequentially. The thing is, with the Sky Trilogy and the Crossfell, those games are a little bit dated, being designed for PSP, so keep that in mind. But Cold Steel 1 through 4, I'm not saying they're blowaways technically, but they look fairly decent. Obviously, you can't be playing Cold Steel 3 and 4 without playing Cold Steel 1 and 2. But I digress. Legend of Heroes is awesome, and y'all should get into it if you haven't. Next up, we have the Legend of Legacy HD Remastered, the 3DS JRPG, coming back now on modern platforms. RPG fans rejoice as the classic fantasy of Legend of Legacy is remastered in HD and now debuting on modern platforms. Many have come seeking rich story and legendary treasure, but in the end, they all vanished, swallowed up by darkness. None have seen into the heart of this island, now awakened from the eternal slumber of the mythical island known as Avalon. HD Remastered, much better visuals for a world map of bursting with storybook charm and characters from surrounding terrain springs to life like a pop-up picture book. Grow your adventure with each step and you take and discover more of the map. As your character moves, the map will be drawn and filled in. Legend of Legacy features 7 main characters and limitless adventures and an intuitive battle system as well. Expect a quality soundtrack on top of that. The Legend of Legacy drops on March 22nd. Next up, enormous release. One of the biggest remakes in quite a while, we have Persona 3 Reload. Persona 3 is the game that really popularized Persona as a franchise. For a lot of people, Persona's kind of got that Fallout thing going on, where Persona 3 is where the franchise starts for so many, and this is a ground-up remake. Yeah, we got Persona 3 Portable finally ported to a modern platform, but this is the game that most of us wanted, and why I had speculated that Persona 3 FES was not ported to modern platforms, because they were doing a full-on remake. Dive into the dark hour and awaken the depths of your heart. Persona 3 Reload is a captivating reimagining of the genre-defining RPG, reborn for the modern era with cutting-edge graphics and gameplay. Experience the pivotal game of the Persona series, faithfully remade with cutting-edge graphics, modernized quality of life features, and signature stylish UI. Fully immerse yourself in an emotional, gripping journey with new scenes, character interactions, and additional voiceover. Choose how to meaningfully spend each day through various activities, from exploring the Port Island to forging genuine bonds with beloved characters and building command your object team to take down unholy shadows and climb closer to the truth. It is a $70 release, which I know some people are going to be critical of. It is going to be on Xbox Game Pass on PC and Xbox. Given the amount of content you're going to get out of Persona 3 Reload, and it's going to be a game that most of you are going to be playing for 80 plus hours, is $70 the biggest deal in the world? I personally don't think so. I think the bigger deal is Sega. What are you doing here? Releasing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Persona 3 Reload back to back? It's going to be a pretty hectic week that week. And speaking of that hectic week, Grand Blue Fantasy Flight is also dropping that week on February the 1st, but if you buy it digitally, you get to play it on January 29th. A grand adventure in the skies await. Form a party of 4, a diverse roster of Skyfarers and Flash or Hex Ways of victory against treacherous foes in an action RPG, take on quest solo, or with the help of others in up to 4-player cooperative play. Now we know that the main story will span around 20 to 30 hours. There's going to be post-game content, and there's going to be a lot of side content like cooperative an aspect of the game as well. Expect it to be super replayable. Engage in real-time combat with a party of 4 and a character action RPG. Choose from a diverse roster of Skyfarers, each with their own unique weapons and combat styles. Teamwork makes the dream work. Party-based mechanics, quick attack, chain burst to help you run close to accurate fashion. Tackle quest solo or with the help of others for up to 4-player cooperative play. Awesome art style is a long time coming to the release of Grand Blue Fantasy Flight. We've been following this game for like 7 years now. Initially, the development started with Platinum Games on board as well. Then it shifted on over to Cygames entirely. Looks like it turned out really well. There's a real chance for Grand Blue to reach the next level over here stateside. I know that Grand Blue Versus has been pretty popular, but Grand Blue Fantasy away. Big much JRPG. Fingers crossed it turns out well. What is a bit of a harrowing thought is the idea of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Grand Blue Fantasy like in Persona 3 Reload, all coming out in the span of 7 days. 2 of those titles being published by Sega, kind of competing with yourself. These games gotta come out when they gotta come out, and it's gonna be a fun time to say the least. Next up, we have King Arthur, Knight's Tale. This initially dropped on PC back in April of 2022. Turn-based tactical games and traditional characters such as RPGs. Knight's Tale is a modern retelling of a classic Arthurian mythology story filled with through the dark fantasy tropes with a twist on the traditional tales of chivalry. The game's had a pretty positive reception, all things considered. An 8 out of 10 from IGN, and generally speaking, a pretty good reception. Now, this is the kind of game that does align more so with a PC audience. Hopefully, it is received well on console. King Arthur, Knight's Tale drops on February 22nd. And lastly, this would not be one of the biggest game releases of the year. Dragon's Dogma, a decade in the making, a decade plus in the making. Dragon's Dogma initially came out in early 2012. After a decade of people clamoring for a sequel, people being invested in the original game, but the original game developing into the cult classic, we finally have a follow-up from one of the most today. Capcom. Think about this. In a 12-month period, Capcom, going back to 2023, would have put out Resident Evil 4 Remake, Street Fighter 6, capped off that year with Dragon's Dogma 2. What a calendar year it has been for Capcom, and Dragon's Dogma 2 cap it off in a big way. Single-player narrative action RPGs that challenges the players to choose their own experience from the appearance of their origin, their location, their party, how to approach different situations for a truly immersive fantasy world. Expect a sizable world to explore with a lot of content, challenging gameplay, and an immersive world as well, where you will have party members, especially your pawn, who will always accompany your origin and enter a covenant with additional pawns as well. You have a party by your side. Based on the atrocities in the world beyond the town borders, you'll encounter diverse monsters that inhabit the land. You'll need to decide between engaging in battles or finding alternatives, so be aware of your party setup, the terrain around you, and the monsters you face. Inhabitants of this world, you've got travelers, merchants, soldiers, and other folks who go about their daily lives. preoccupied by their own objectives and motives, they all exhibit different emotions, and at times they may lead you to a quest by approaching you and asking for a favor. This has been a long time coming. I'm excited that Dragon's Dogma 2 will finally be here. It is out on March 22nd exclusively for next generation platforms. But that is going to do it for me. What a lineup we have in Q1. And this is just the RPGs. We're not mentioning stuff like Suicide Squad Kills Justice League. We're not mentioning stuff like Skull and Bone, etc., etc. There's so many. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. There are so many titles coming out in the first quarter that I really feel like this is one of the greatest quarters in gaming history. And maybe that's a little bit of a hyperbolic statement. We ultimately have to see how these games turn out. But in terms of weight of titles, one of the most compelling periods, especially for RPG and more so JRPG fans across the board. That's what's good for me. Sound off all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads. And we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we upload a video. As always,
Open up shelves. Hello, boy. Mishka Froms. Tuuni Kanef. Frisbee, yeah. Siva.
For no.
Arvishu.
Nurse.